Hello, welcome to our Nursing 7001 course for fall 2019. I have here the home page for each of you to see. What you'll see is if you move about halfway down the page, there is obviously the course name and course number, but if you go, there's some links upon the bottom that you can look at. The Start Here page is missing my photo and a couple of pieces of information which I will provide for you in the introduction that I'll give to you in the introductory Getting to Know You link next week. And if you click here, there's the course syllabus, and if you click here, there's a course schedule. You can access both of those through this link. Also, you see all of the resources and textbooks required for this course. However, if you go to the modules page, well, you'll see some of the same information. But let's first of all quickly go to the syllabus. This here, if you click on, will give you a PDF, and you're certainly welcome to download that to your computer and or print it. Here you'll find some of our course concepts and our teaching strategies. What I'd like you to note is that in the School of Nursing, an A is a 95 to 100% and an A minus is a 90 to 94%. The other thing again you'll see here is our required resources and texts. Each of you will be required to join the American Association of Nurse Practitioners as a student. The membership's about $55. It provides you many resources that will be utilized through the DNP FNP program of study, and also a discount when you're ready to certify. For now, Typhon right here, you do not need to purchase this. This is a clinical tracking system that will be used potentially later for you once you start the FNP classes and the clinical rotations. Based on some information that we obtained just last week, we're going to be able to have you provide you a free opportunity with Spark Adobe to use that as your portfolio and signature assignment repository, and it is something that you can take with you after you graduate, so that's a great thing. The Medscape and Grammarly are just some resources for you to use. Grammarly I recommend for you as far as the many writing assignments that you'll have. So here's some information about the course format and information on services for disability, and as you'll look down farther you can also see that there's a list of the courses that are due. You'll find much of that information also in the course schedule that's provided for you. The announcements, I'll try and keep information coming through to each of you in the announcement section of the course. A lot of times some of those announcements are related to questions that are asked by students, and if there's multiple people asking, I'll post something there. So the link that you're going to use the most is the modules link, and what you'll see here at the top is that in the School of Nursing we have a file naming convention. So every assignment that you submit, there is a specific way that we would like you to do that. If you open this link, what we want you to do is to put the course name. This is from another course, but you would put NRSG 7001, your last name, your first initial, whatever the assignment title is, and then the date that the assignment is due, or that you turn it in if you want to do that. And so that's important as well as you submit each assignment. If we go back to the modules page, you will find that it's organized in different sections throughout the course. The first Unit A is 3 weeks long, and during that time we'll be talking about the DNP degree and the FNP role. As you move on down through this course, you'll see we'll talk about role transition, professionalism, how nurses know what they know, a little bit about a history and timeline of the DNP degree, the FNP role, and the practice competencies associated with that. It is important for each of you to remember that as part of the DNP degree, not only do you need to be cognizant of family nurse practitioner competencies, but you also need to be cognizant of leadership competencies, because the DNP degree is a degree that prepares you for leadership. We'll also talk about practice transformation, some frameworks and models or theories that will allow you to look at the essentials and competencies that you need to fulfill prior to graduation, and they'll become part of your practice in the future. We'll also talk about FNP clinical and DNP leadership role models. You'll have opportunity to talk to some people who have achieved that already and some assignments associated with that. And then finally, towards the end of the course, we're going to look at the future of nursing related to FNP role, DNP degree, and leadership role, and how you as a nurse will be participating in the future of nursing and healthcare through advocacy, ethics, and application of these essentials and competencies that we'll talk about during the course. So if we go up here to Unit A, what you'll see is that at the end of week 2, there's an assignment for a structured video response and an introduction. It's actually a discussion assignment so that you can introduce yourselves to the members of our class and also have some time to interact and respond to those introductions. There are some specified questions or aspects I'd like you to present in the video, and then also you have some time for your own information. Every couple of weeks we'll have a Stay Connected Anything post. There you can decide to post whatever you want. You can complain, you can be grateful for whatever it is you want to be grateful for. Share us stories about what's going on in your life outside of Weber and how you feel about the class. This is something that is graded 5 points for participation. However, you can choose not to participate, but it's just a good way to stay connected, and I'll post in there things about myself as well and my career trajectory based on where I've been and where I am, because currently I am a DNP prepared family nurse practitioner. And then the second assignment that is due the third week of the semester, at the end of the third week of the semester, is talking a little bit about our DNP program specifically and the DNP project expectations. So if you go to the overview page for the unit, what you'll find is a little bit of a history or overview about the DNP degree and the FNP role. What I want you to understand is that the DNP itself is actually an academic degree. The FNP is a role-specific certified process. We prepare you academically, and I'd like you to remember that you are not trained, but that you are prepared academically. And what that means is that there is an emphasis not only on technical skills, but on the process of diagnostic reasoning, scholarship, evidence-based practice, and what that means as far as becoming a provider for direct patient care, and also some aspects of indirect systems, policy, quality improvement, leadership in whatever role or organization you serve in. As you move on down, there's a number of links here. The first thing is to remind you that I've provided the Zach Anini readings up until the end of September for you as PDFs, and to remind you that right now you do not need to purchase the Typhon application. We'll talk about that in the future. So I've opened up here a few of the different links, but as you can see, everywhere that's blue, that will take you directly to the link. And even though this module looks kind of long, what I want you to notice is that right here it says week 1, and then if you move down it says week 2, and then if you move down it says week 3. So week 2 and week 3, week 1 and week 2 have a little more information than week 3. But this is just a great way for you to start the course and to understand a little bit more about what you have decided to do and what that means now as well as into the future. So for just a couple of minutes, let's go ahead and look at a couple of the documents. This is the the DNP Essentials. And what I'd like you to understand is that there are 8 essentials. One is related to scientific knowledge for practice. The second one is systems leadership and quality improvement, and thinking about what you do not only from a patient individualized perspective, but also a population, so all patients, for example, that might have hypothyroidism. And then from a systems perspective, how do you care for those patients, and how do you make the process of care better for them? And looking at that from quality improvement, decreasing errors, making accessibility more readily available for those patients that you care for. Essential number 3 has to do with clinical scholarship based on evidence and some analytical methods or some basic statistical pieces of information that you learn, because you need to be able to judge evidence based on those kinds of statistical values and what that means, and is it significant or not. Essential number 4 here is looking at information systems and technology from a systems perspective as well as a patient care perspective. And what you'll find is that technology has many improvements on a daily basis, especially related to healthcare. And some of the things that we do today we may not do in the future based on some of the options we have for technology to either take over or perhaps assist in that. Health policy and advocacy is critical for a nurse practitioner at the master's or doctoral prepared level. But at the doctoral level, one of the things that you will be expected to participate in is looking at how you can make improvement. And a lot of times that's through policy or protocols or guidelines. And we'll talk a little bit more about that. Essential number 6 relates to interprofessional collaboration related specifically to patient or population health outcomes. And number 7 is sort of interrelated in that it looks at population health, but this is more at a national global level versus a specific community level. And so we'll have some classes that will help you understand that as well. And finally, the 8th DNP essential is advanced nursing practice. And if you go to the FNP competencies, which I will just in a minute, part of the advanced nursing practice competencies or essentials for them is there's actually a 9th, and it's related to ethical practice and advocacy. So here is the Institute of Medicine link that I'll have you look at. I'm going to go, it's about the future of nursing, leading change and advancing health. And in 2010, there was a report that came out that looked at how nurses could improve quality of care and help realize the future of healthcare in a more positive way. And access is one way that we can do that as nurse practitioners, but for transformation of the nursing profession, which in the end transforms healthcare, we need to you need to know that nurses need to practice to the full extent of their education. They put training in here, but I really feel like training sometimes is a negative aspect of what we do. Yes, we're trained in technical skills, but what we do is cognitive, diagnostic, scholarly kinds of things, and we need to make sure that people know that no matter what level of nursing education, but particularly as a nurse practitioner, and that we should achieve higher levels of education, which is why all of you are moving from the registered nurse baccalaureate preparation to the doctorate level of education of eligibility for certification as a nurse practitioner. No matter what level of nurse practice we have, but especially at the graduate level, we need to be full partners with physicians and our interprofessional peers. And finally, we need to be effective in planning how healthcare is delivered and developing policies and protocols and using analytics to better care for patients and improve healthcare systems. So these 4 recommendations really are reflected, as you can see, based on the brief overview we had of the DNP Essentials. So here is the Weber State University expected student learning outcomes by the end of the program. This column here is for all DNP students. Those are things that